folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comics for today are Robin 3000's Book 1 and 2 by DC. Now there is violence, fighting, shooting, killing, aliens, genetic manipulation, time travel bullshit a little bit in there, and more violence. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the team for both. Okay, so this is not serious. A two-parter I have not heard about. Recently, my friend Leo acquired both of these, showed me, and I asked to borrow it, because I really do love the Elseworld stories. So I read the first one, and I was contemplating making a video. Decided at first not to, but then read the second one, and like, okay, I'll just do about both of them. So this is an Elseworld story, but about mainly Robin. Batman is here, but obviously based on the title, it's mainly Robin. Alright, so this is book 1. And in book 1, we have the history at the beginning of what has happened. So there has been a long line of Waynes from the first Batman, the first Bruce Wayne. But a long line. But before that, the Skrulls are now basically controlling the world in the future. It starts in the year 2099. And in that year, Batman is still fighting the Skrull. Or the Skrull, wait, let me check. Maybe I've been saying it wrong. There's those aliens there too, right? I'm gonna be thinking, wait. Is it the Skrull? It's yes. No, sorry. The scope. The scope. Not the scroll. I've been calling them Skrull the entire time of reading it, because it looks so familiar. It looked so similar, but it's a P. So yeah, the aliens, the scope, they are now controlling the Earth, because many decades ago, or almost 100 years, they came to Earth with a cure for for a plague. A plague that took humanity and created mutations. And they came with a cure. And as essentially they've made the humans timid along the way, and the humans now do whatever they want, except, of course, the rebellion. There's always a rebellion. So in the first issue, it's 2099. It's about to be the year 3000. That very same day, Batman, or Bruce Wayne the 20th, here he is, and his nephew, Thomas Wayne, over here, they are fighting the Skrull. Now, Sculpt, sorry. The Sculpt have discovered who Batman really is, that he's Bruce Wayne, and they've been hunting him since. But there's something that needs to be done, but because they know who Batman is, Bruce realizes there's nothing that he'll be able to do, and they are both chased, he and Robin, while in his ship. And he's like, we're not going to be able to escape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a martyr, and you're going to continue the mission, Tom. And Tom's like, no, Uncle Bruce, you can't kill yourself, not kill yourself, get yourself killed. Are you really going to die? Have you given up? And Bruce says, I'm just going to die, Tom. I haven't given up. On the contrary. And he presses a button, and in the ship that they're in, an android that looks exactly like Robin comes out of it. Now, no one knows who Robin is. They have no idea that he's Tom Wayne. So he's gonna leave the android with him, And when they destroy him, when they shoot the ship down, and he'll be dead, they'll find the android and they'll think that the android is Robin because they have no idea. So that is it. He tells Tom to keep on fighting. So he beams Tom down, and then Bruce keeps flying. And Tom is looking at him from the ground, hoping maybe he will make it. But the Sculpts send their most powerful fleet against him. The kind of ships they use for space fighting. And they shoot the ship, and obviously Bruce is now dead. That is it. Tom is there, looking. And then he's arrested by the Sculpt because he's been beamed down into abandoned airfield that's out airfield that is off limits. So we go 1 year later. Tom Wayne is in prison. Also, Tom Wayne's dad is in prison, but he's been arrested many years ago. And we get some history about the Waynes as well, on how Wayne after Bruce, it was like, compared to Da Vinci, Albert Einstein, he learned all these things, and he learned genetic shit, the word escapes me, genetic cloning. And how he told people, this will only be good for plants. He wanted to use it for when humans flew to New World, they would be able to use it on plants, on animals, in order to have them grow to be more adaptable to different environments. And it was used that way, but as always, as time went on, they decided to use it on humans. Of course, always happens in these stories. They decided to use it on humans in order to make more adaptable humans to different planets. And at first it was working fine, but then suddenly a plague has begun. Something has started and things got really bad. There were these mutations, and it started affecting other people. And then the Sculpt arrived with a cure to help humanity. And of course, humanity accepted. And then the Sculpt used the Wayne family as the scapegoat, saying, "Oh, it's actually all the family's fault. If it wasn't for them, they're the ones who caused this plague." So, of course, humanity has turned on the Wayne family, naturally, and very methodically, the Sculpt took over, because humans have become dependent on them. But, of course, Batman was going to appear sooner or later, and Bruce Wayne the 20th, Tom's uncle, he has also been captured and was in prison as a teen. But in prison, he met Selina Kyle, and she told him all sorts of things, like the legend of Batman. And he went to where the old Wayne Manor was and found the Batcave and became the Batman and kept on fighting. So that is that. So in the first book, after all this is explained, maybe I confused me. That some of it was explained in the second book. But anyway, that's the history. Tom is in prison. He's planning to escape. He performs the escape plan. His friend Aki sneaks in an android, or not an android, but a robot into the prison. Tom uses it to blow a hole in the wall, and Aki takes him with the ship. They keep flying. They're going to some distant planet. And Tom's like, "Wait, that's, way there. There's nothing there." And he said, "Well, you haven't been around for a while, Wayne. We've lost, we lost people. We lost bases, rebel bases." So they fly to this planet. They crash. And Aki's more or less okay, but Tom has been hit in the head. But he's all right there. But his hand, his left hand is mangled. But then some kind of doctor that does research nearby stumbles on them, and Aki lies to him that they're doing work for the Sculpt, and he takes them to his lab. And then he performs an operation after Aki says, "Oh yes," because he can either give him a regular prosthetic or a special robotic prosthetic that he built that would give him all these like weapons in his hand. Saki says yes, give him the special one, so the surgery starts. And yeah, while the surgery is happening, that's where we get the all the information about the Wayne family. So that's done. He wakes up. The doctor tells him, "No, I made you this hand," and Tom uses it because he himself is an inventor, and accidentally shoots forward at Aki. Aki dodges, but says, "Careful, Wayne." And then the doctor, Dr. Deer, says, "Wait, Wayne?" And like you're the wanted Tom Wayne. And he's about to do something, but Tom uses a new hand and shoots at the robots that help the doctor. They also perform the surgery. And Doctor's angry and says, "You animal! They've they performed your surgery." Sorry. Well, anyway, Aki and Tom take the doctor hostage. They use his ship and they fly into the city that's all over there. And he tells them, "I just do work for the Sculpt to get the funding. I don't really, it's not like I've sold out humanity. It's just they give me money and I just have to hand in a report every once in a while." And then police catches up with them, but Dr. Deer doesn't give them up. He says, "Oh, these two are with me. Here's my license." So they drop him off and they keep going to the reason they were in this planet. They go to some facility. There's a kid there named Moon, and he can help them. They go in to the facility. Tom's like, "Wait, a kid?" But anyway, they go into the facility to look in. Tom says that there is a picture of his ancestor in the vault of the manager's office. So Tom separates from both of them. He sneaks in, uses his new robotic hand to open the safe in there and take the photo, and thinks there's got to be a reason why why the manager has this photo. Why, that seems interesting. He goes out and then he's attacked by a clone that looks like a deformed fish, a humanoid deformed fish. I think, or was it more a lizard? No, a lizard, not a fish. He fights it because he has no choice. It's attacking him. But then Moon arrives with some guards, and he yells at Tom, "No, don't hurt him!" And he has some kind of telepathic ability, and he uses it to calm down the clone. Then Aki, and Moon have to, with Tom, they have to get out of there quickly, because if not, the guards are coming. So they escape, and then they go outside. And now the Sculpt have decided to do this kind of scheme. With Tom escaping, they have androids that look like Tom because they've been collecting samples from him and studying him when he was in prison to make it look like the Wayne family has sold out, and now they're going to help the Sculpt to make the rebels think that Tom's not trustworthy. So Tom sees it as the androids up there, pretending to be him. And he's very upset, and he has to, like, every ounce of his self-control not to run to the stage. They leave. Then some rebels that are there in the crowd decided plan to kidnap Tom. They kidnapped obviously the android. They grab him and they go down below, and they're thinking, "Oh, that's it. We're gonna get him. They're not gonna find us." Now the scope have these young women. This young woman, she's here on the cover, who's helping them. Her name is Genra. I'm probably not pronouncing it, but Genra. And Genra's working for them only because the Sculpt have her parents. And there's like this main guy of the Sculpts that he's her boss. And he has her under his command just because he has her parents. So she sees that, she feels sorry for the rebels, and they are, of course, all captured. To get and the clone, not the clone, the androids brought back. They're taken to this commander. His name is I forgot his name. But he's someone high up there. I should Dagon, I think maybe Dagon. His name was let me look that up. Anyway, they're taken to him, and he is one mean motherfucker. In the sense of oh, there he is. Oh yeah, Dragon. Okay, so I remembered. Yeah, they're taken to him. He wants to make an example of him, but he basically uses this time machine that he has. It looks all like a bunch of crystals. Oh, let me show you real quick. See? I like these crystals. And he sends them back to prehistoric era, basically, as a way to get rid of them. Then we go back to Earth, where there's where the Culp store all sorts of like counterfeited things that they've confiscated, and inside a safe there is that android, the Robin android that Bruce has built, and the android is activated. Gets out of the safe, burns the whole fucking warehouse, basically. And just standing there, he's about to leave. Then we go back to the planet that Tom Wayne is on. He is, second? Yeah, Tom Wayne is on. And he is with Aki. The things are getting more tense. So Aki tells him, they steal a car. Not steal a car. They get a car from Moon, and Tom has to lay low for a couple of days until all this can be sorted. Or they lay low for a few days. So he takes the car, and Aki says it's gonna be a rough one, Wayne. And so that is it. Tom takes the car and goes away to hide in the desert for a few days, and Aki will be back for him. And let me see. What does he tell him? Yeah, he says, good luck, they're playing for keeps. And that's it. That's how the first issue ends. Oh, I forgot how massive the explosion is after the Tom Wayne android. So that was issue 1. In issue 2, we're of course back with Tom. 1 second. Issue 2 is also like Batman's secret as well. Let's have a look here. Okay, 1 second, please. Okay. All right, so we start the second book with some more not history. Okay. There's a documentary being filmed by the Culpa, the place where Batman was killed, or a ship was destroyed with him in it. Then we go back to the planet that Tom is on. He's sitting in the desert on the car waiting, and there's these like weird alien bunnies, or rabbits. No, bunnies. I think weird alien bunnies with really sharp teeth, and they're munching on the car, and he's shooing them away. And then he's sitting there and contemplating, thinking back on how Bruce took him under his wing and trained him because his Tom's father, was arrested and taken to a moon prison. And he remembers, all they did and how he became Robin. And you're sitting there thinking, I used to help Bruce, and look where I am now, shooing away space garbage. That's not nice to call the bunnies that. Yes, he's sitting there, thinking about it all and how everything started. And now he's just sitting there in the desert. He's not, really doing much of what Bruce wanted him to continue. And how for him it just feels like an hour, even though it's been like 2 years since Bruce was killed. In the meantime, the android is going back to the Batcave, following pre-recorded orders from Bruce. He takes 2 genetic chips, puts them in his nails, and then goes into a machine that teleports him. Meanwhile, Tom goes with Aki finally to meet more rebels. Or the leader of the rebels who doesn't trust Tom. And thinks he works with the Skull, but then he argues with her, no, that's not me, these are androids. And she said, all right, fine. We have been getting reports that you are in a few places at once, so that can't just be you. And yeah, they gotta do something. They need to find out where these androids are and now lead them to the main man that's behind all this with the androids. So that's what they need to do. They're thinking, okay, we need to get a ship. And the rebel lady says, well, we're not swimming in credits. I know we can get you a ship. And he said, well, we can go ask the doctor, Dr. Deer, and he'll get us, maybe we can borrow his ship. And the rebel lady's like, what? No, he works for the Skull. But he said, no, not really. He's just using their funding. So like, okay, then we need to get one of these androids, and then she looks in her wristwatch, well, not watch, but her wrist beeper thingy, and she tells him, well, I got some bad news. The android has left the planet 3 hours ago. And he's like, oh shit. 1 second. Oh yeah, and there's also like a conversation between the Dragon and the genre. She's talking to him about the Scope's intelligence and everything. Like, why do you have to fear Tom Wayne? So yeah, there we go. So, and also the rebel lady tells him, well, if you want to catch deer, you better go now. But because it's the only lead they have is following that robot, even though it's left 3 hours ago. So they run up to find the doctor, Dr. Deer. He's walking in the street really depressed. So apparently the Scope came to him, destroyed all his research and all his robots because he discovered that this plague that humanity has gotten was from the Scope themselves. They started the plague and they already had the cure for it. But the cure will make the humans more docile. So, well, who didn't see that one coming? It was all too convenient. They suddenly arrived with the cure, isn't it? Yes, that's all been discovered, and they're like, he's like, ask them, what do you need? And they say your ship, and he's like, all right, done. So Dr. Deer, Tom, Aki, and Moon all aboard his ship, and he tells them to fly after to find that android. So while he's going to fly them, Dr. Deer's kind of like Alfred, a little bit. The way he says, my dear boy, and all that. It kind of feels like he's supposed to be Alfred in this reality. But yes, so while they are flying, Tom takes both Moon and Aki and uses his new hand and starts giving all these improvements to the ship because, like I said before, he's an inventor. So he gives these all sorts of modifications and weapons so Dr. Deer's ship can have a fighting chance. And then they near the planet, well, not the planet, but where the android is. In between that, the Tom Wayne android arrives on this distant planet where Selena is, Selena Kyle. And she's there with these like alien cats. And he asks her if he can use her recharger for the teleportation device. So apparently Bruce has planned that too. She said, Bruce, you will never cease to amaze me, even now. So she gives him the teleportation charger. He's charging while putting in new coordinates to go to. His mission is to find Tom Wayne. So that's that. I go back to Tom Wayne. He with everyone else, they crash the ship through to the stadium and use robotic arms to kidnap the android. They grab him, and then they start to fly out of there, but ships are chasing them, and they're also, and then a beam, gravity beam captures them. And Dr. D is like in panic, we gotta try to escape. And then Tom's like, no, don't try to escape. This is going according to plan. He's like, what? I wanted us to be captured in order to learn who's behind all this. We need to do this. So their ship is brought into it's a ship called Excalibur, I think. I think its name was Excalibur. Jenra is there with more troops of the Sculpt. She tells them, come out with your hands up. Any movement will shoot. And they go outside, and Tom tells Aki not to do anything, and Aki's like, yeah, I know. I don't need to give these guys an excuse to shoot me. So that's it. They are captured and taken into different cells. Tom is with Moon in the same cell, and he tells them, well, what now, Tom? And he tells them, well, I haven't quite thought of that part, Moon. And he's like, don't be scared, Moon. And then he quotes him something by Julius Caesar. Or was it before? No, that was before, sorry. While they were in the ship. Because he's like, aren't you afraid, Tom? Alright, then they're sitting, and Tom asks Moon if he can use his telepathic powers, like what he did with the clone, to listen in on what Genre is thinking. And Moon tells him, well, it's not an exact thing, Tom. I can get off to maybe just feelings. And then not even, like clear thoughts. And Tom tells him, it doesn't matter, just do it anyway. And then he uses his robotic hand to to put an earpiece in order to listen for guards that they might be coming. Sorry. Also, when they were captured, he asked Jenra for her name. Like, it's good to know the enemy's name. So then we go to Jenra. She's in her private quarters. She's calling Dragon and telling him, Dragon, I got this guy. I got Tom Wayne. Now you'll get a promotion and everything. And he's like, if you're pulling my leg, woman. She said no, and she transmits a video from the cell where Tom and Moon are. And he's like, this is amazing, finally. I have Tom Wayne captured. And Jenra's like, does this mean you'll finally release my parents? And he says, you'll be rewarded handsomely. Maybe when I go to my permanent retirement beautiful home, I'll let you come with me. And that's it. And Jenra's sitting there really depressed and like, you're never going to... Because he even tells her, I can't let go of an agent such as yourself. You're too valuable. And then Jenra's sitting there, you're never going to let go of my parents. And then Tom, like we see faces, he's finally getting out of her head and back, and he tells Tom, Moon tells Tom that he's got these, he's like not sure. Genre is feeling all sorts of feelings, or genre, I think genre. She's feeling all sorts of feelings, and she's unpredictable. She might do anything. Then they are taken out of their cells and brought before Dragon. He's talking to Tom Wayne. He's telling, finally I have you captured. They think your family has done all this. And he's like, you're a brilliant man, brilliant man, Tom Wayne. Why don't you join us? And Tom's like, I'd rather die than sell out humanity. And he's like, I thought you'd say that. So what Dragon decides to do with Tom, because he's still valuable to him, is going to send him back 2 years, back to when he was imprisoned. And then he's going to lock him in this vicious loop that he won't be able to get out of. And for the other three, he's going to send them back to prehistoric time. Because Tom at first can't believe that he has a time machine, but Dragon explains to him that, like everything, time is energy, so they managed to find a way to use it. Tom's inner inventor is fascinated. So before anything else can happen, he's grabbed by two guards about to be put in front of the machine. Genra pulls out her gun and starts shooting. Not start shooting, but she tells Dragon, get your hand off of that. And then she shoots him. And then the whole hell starts to break loose from the shooting. A maintenance closet is opened, and a bunch of robots. I gotta show you the robots. They're hilarious looking. So the robots come out. They're cleaning robots, so they're just standing there. Oh, we need to clean. And Tom's like, oh shit. And then he goes, is like, okay, I need to lock up this level, and then I can use the tubes to get out of here. And then Genra gets close, and everyone huddles together, using the robots for cover. They huddle behind something. It's like, on whose side are you on? It's like, it doesn't matter right now. So she covers them, and they start running towards the tube. And Tom makes sure that the level's locked so they won't be able to call for backup. Then they go up the tube, but before they do, he makes sure that the tube's going to be locked. And they go up quickly. And they hope that the dragon maybe is dead. Because Genra shot him right in the face. So then, because of the way the ship is, they can actually take part of it. So they release a part and fly in it. And then they're going away. They're flying away. But as they are flying away, Genra's like, alright. And she pulls out her laser gun and tells them, alright, we're gonna fly to this planet now. I need to save my parents. Because Tom's like, what, is this another double cross, Genra? And she says, no, I need to get my parents. And Tom's like, so are mine, but they would want me to continue with the rebellion. And of course, Genra says how tired she is. She can't trust anyone. But I think now she's going to be with them. Then back in the Excalibur, the same thing that Dragon wanted to do to Tom, trap him in a time loop, is happening to him. He's now trapped in a time loop where he constantly goes back, but he's trapped. He's like, I vow that I'll destroy them. That's not going to help him much, though. Okay. There's that. So they're all flying away. And it's after everyone retires to sleep. Tom goes lower in the ship, and the android appears. The android appears down in the ship, doing a journey that no human would have been able to do. And so, and then Tom sees him, and he's like, oh no. And the android tells him, quiet, don't sound any alarms, Tom Wayne, or Master Tom Wayne. And then Tom's looking at him, how do I know you're not sent by the scope? And he said, I'm sent by your uncle. Bruce Wayne. So then he shows him, I have these, and he pulls out of his two fingernails the genetic chips and gives them to him. And then Tom knows that it's true because they are from the Batcave. So he tells him, my mission here is to give you back the costume, give you your rightful title, what you must continue. And Tom's like, are there any messages from Uncle Bruce? And he said, no, I have no messages, and I will self-destruct after I give you the costume. And before that, Tom's looking at these genetic chips, and he thinks maybe there'll even be a Bruce Wayne again in the future. Because doing all these researchers... Oh, and also, before all that, well, they're flying away. They go next to Tom's father's prison. Like, he sees the ship, of course, doesn't know what it is. So yeah, these how it was all developed and how Bruce is trying to improve it, and he even joked that they could make Batman in a bottle. So maybe it's hinting at they can use that to remake Bruce Wayne again. Well, be brought back, or Bruce Wayne the 20th, I should say. But then that is it. Tom says, "All right, then give me the costume," and the android does. And then Tom is standing in costume as behind him the android is destroyed. And that's it. That's where the story ends. And he says, it is time for Robin to return. Let me show you that because that's really cool. Look at that. I love how the android's being destroyed. I thought he would explode, but look. That's really, really cool. So that's it. Whew. My throat's killing me. Alright, let's go to the covers. I do really like the covers. This is like kind of a scene from the What Happens to Bruce. Now you see. I do like the art style a lot as well. And I feel like this here is kind of maybe a homage to something. Because this doesn't really happen in the comic, but it's quite cool. That's Genra over there. This robot's nowhere in sight, so I think this might be a homage. Maybe. Alright, let me show you some art from the inside. Like I said, I like the art style. Looks a bit liney in some places, but it works really well for this kind of style of story. I think I like it because it slightly reminds me of Mike Mignola. You see, he's got that special eye or something. There's Tom. Great colors too. So that's a really good art style. I really like it. Okay, let me just... Ah, there's the robots. Look at the robots. They look so funny. I love how they're made. I'm sorry, I mean how they're drawn. They just look at those eyes. They kind of look like if the Terminator was made into like a skinny version. I don't know, I just found them hilarious. I love it. And that's Aki over there, and that's Dr. Deer. So you see, I don't know, he makes me think of Alfred, but I don't think, maybe it was supposed to be like kind of an Alfred here. And there's Bruce when he was younger with Selina. See, there's the plague. Then the Wayne name has been tarnished. The bastards. There they are. There's the android. So that's book 1. Now book 2. I'll show you a bit as well. Okay, you see, there they are. That's Moon over there. It's his little blonde child. He's a really cute kid. Well, it wouldn't get much of a childhood if you're in the rebellion in this kind of future. Okay, there's Genra. And there's, yeah, there we go. There's Moon. Oh, Them lying there kind of reminds me of the scene from Star Wars with Princess Leia. And there's Dragon. I go over there. Oh, okay. So yeah, oh look, that's cool. Over there. Alright, so this was this two-parter. I feel like based on the end and maybe there's more. I gotta look if maybe there was Robin, I don't know, 3001 or something. Because the way they ended, it kind of feels like there needs to be more. Like him fighting on the scope and saving his father, maybe, and Jenra getting to free her parents. Or maybe not. Maybe this is how they intended to end it, where it's time for Robin to return and we'll see what the future brings, kind of thing. But I wish there was a third book to like do a little bit more in there. But regardless, I really, really enjoyed the story. The art, the story itself, the way it went, is really cool. This time it's focused on Robin. And I liked how in this Robin was part of the Wayne family. I thought it would be, he's, again, somehow adopted by Bruce. I always wonder, how it's going to be Robin. Yeah, or how Batman's going to come to be. And here they made it that it's a bloodline. So I really, really like that. That was cool. As I've said, I really enjoy Elseworld stories, and this one was no exception. So this one has been great. I do hope I'll find more Elseworld stories. So that's it. The cool robots as well. I'm wondering if I'm right, and Doctor Deer was supposed to be like kind of Alfred in this one. And maybe not. It just seems to kind of do the same sort of help Alfred would. Oh well, that is it, folks. Oh, and I also like the Robin costume. But that is it. Let me know if you've read this two-parter, and if you did, what did you think about it? Let me know down below. Alright, that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about, share it on YouTube. Bye!